So, still on parenting teenagers, and today we're asking the question, why do you pay school fees for your teenager? I know you're wondering, isn't it obvious? I mean, it's a basic need like clothing and food. Yes, it is obvious, but we're living in times when things are becoming very, very difficult financially, economically. Money is becoming difficult to get, to find. And so you want to spend, you want to put your money somewhere that you can get fruits for it. And what we're seeing is that a lot of parents are becoming too critical of academic performance, such that they set expectations for their teenagers, and if they're not met, then if they're not met, then there is the reaction of verbally abusing your child, emotionally abusing your child, physically abusing your child, simply because they do not meet the expectations that you set. You feel like your money has gone down the drain. You spend 50,000 on school fees per term, and your daughter comes back with a C or a C minus, and that's really disappointing. You sat together, you set a target. She was supposed to get a B so that she can get into university and do a course that you want, not the one she wants. So yes, the question of why do you pay school fees for your child? Is it for their academic education, for the experience that they're supposed to get in the 4 years that they're going to be in high school? If that is the case, then it becomes more about the welfare of the student. It's about them, their ability, their capability, their competencies, what they're able to learn during those 4 years. It's not stretching them beyond their limit. When you're looking at paying for guarantees of academic grades, then this is where you're pushing them beyond their capacities. It's about what you want. And sometimes the reason why you have to ask that question is, are you paying to make up for your own academic failure? Maybe as a parent, you didn't have the opportunity to go to high school, or you went to high school, but things didn't go as you wanted them to. And so now you're reliving that experience through your teenager. And that's why you're forcing them, you insist on them, you demand of them that A, even when they're not able to. You even pick out subjects for them. So the education is really not about the teenager, but about you, the parent, and meeting an unfulfilled need. And so yes, it's very important to ask this question, why do you pay school fees for your teenager? So that you're able to set expectations. What do you expect your teenager to bring back? Or what do you expect from yourself as you're paying these fees for your teenager? Such that if the expectations are not met, then what? How do you respond to that? If it's about setting targets with your teenager and you work together mutually to set this target, if your teenager is not able to meet this target, despite their hard work, despite their commitment, their determination, their perseverance, what do you do with that? How do you react to that? A lot of parents have put in so much effort into taking their teenagers to good schools and paying a lot of money. And when these expectations are not met, then that's followed by abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. You want to make your teenager feel bad for not meeting a target that they were not able to meet. Not that they were lazy to meet, but they were not able to. And this abuse that you're putting your teenager through, they're going to take it with them into adulthood. And they're going to look for relationships, because this is now interacting. Remember, you're the parent. You're the source of love for them. You're the source of affection, the source of compassion. They look up to you for attention. And how you relate during this period shows them how love is exchanged. And they go out there and they look for situations, for people who put them through the same thing. Because that is how love is expressed. A person who loves you can verbally abuse you when you don't meet their expectation, that you don't fulfill their need. They can physically abuse you. That is one of the ways, one of the reasons why teenagers now, when they become adults, they seek those relationships out. And I think as a parent, you go back to that question, why do you pay fees for your teenager? Like I said, things are very expensive right now. Food is expensive. Things that utilities, water bills, electricity bill, everything is just expensive. And so when your teenager doesn't come home with what you expect, then yes, it is justified to feel like your money has gone down the drain. But you see, that goes back to the question, why did you pay that fees in the first place? And when you're able to answer that question as a teenager, it tremendously affects the relationship that you have with your teenager. Because then it's about if it's about the education experience, then it's about the welfare of your teenager. It's about building your teenager. But if it's about grades, then it's about you. And it's very important to distinguish the two. Of course, there are many other points of view that exist, but the question is very important in this particular moment. And even the school that you take your teenager, you might take your teenager to an expensive school for them to just be able to bring back the grades, and you realize they're not able to. That was your choice, not your teenager's. So why do you pay fees for your teenager is a question that parents need to ask themselves, so that they can stop imposing all these manner of punishments to their teenagers.